So, guys, I personally think that Laura shouldn't even be on the show.
If there should be a second episode of a housewife, I don't think wants Lara to be on second episode because she's always bringing unnecessary drama.
Laura is not supposed to be there, but you can see the result, the outcome of her presence in that the gathering. It does not make sense.
Laura is going nowhere. Absolutely going nowhere. If you're watching a reality TV show, guys, and you want to get the most extreme opinions, just go to Twitter. That place is brutal to the core. But if you have a favorite and you don't have strong mind, avoid Twitter at all costs, because everybody gets dragged. Your favorite is definitely going to get dragged, and if your mind no strong, it's gonna pain you. So I joined a space yesterday, the Real Housewives of Lagos space by Showmax. They usually host a space every Friday, and I just listened to what people had to say. I just wanted to get people's opinions and see, just see what's going on out there. And it was mind-blowing. Like, my head wanted to explode. And you guys know that I do not keep gist to myself, so I brought it forward to you guys. I've put things together, like I've gathered the thing and reduced it so that it's not going to be as long as it is on Twitter. But I'm also going to include the link to the Showmax Twitter handle in my description box and maybe in the comment section, so that you can join in the conversation next week Friday, or you just wait for when I bring it here for you guys. So choose which one you want. Do you want the one that I've edited and just reduced, or you want the one you want to be there live and direct? It's usually interesting, Sha. For this video, I'm not going to say too much because there's still a video I have to do with my friends. So for now, I'm just going to leave you guys to listen, and let's continue the conversation in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I think when it comes to Laura's behavior, I think we're talking about ghetto. Laura is so ghetto, like I can't like, even from the house here watching it, like I'm like, ugh, you understand? That is the problem with Laura. It's not about struggling or anything, or like she said, champagne or whatever. It is ghetto. She's so ghetto and bitter. Okay, I understand she has a problem with Choma and Caroline. Then let's talk about Miriam. She was in Miriam's house, Miriam's dining table, Miriam's food, and she was like, I'm bored. I just want to eat and go home. I'm not used to this kind of setup, rolling eyes. Then my question is, why did you go? Like, I've been asking myself that question. Why did you go? If you know you're going to criticize, even when Miriam came in, when they were sitting down in the sitting room and Miriam came in, she gave Miriam a side hug. What did Miriam do? She has a problem with absolutely everybody. She can't give a tangible reason why you're giving this person, why you're eyeing this person, or why you're doing this to this person. What really hurt me in this episode, out of everything, was the fact that she messed up that dinner. Miriam put so much effort in making everything ordered. She even made a menu. She wrote their names. And all Laura could, she was just saying side talks, telling Toyin, what's my business with this discussion here? I'm like, girl, what is this? If you're not interested, don't go. If it's me, if I invite you to my house, I cook for you, and you come to my table and you're giving side talks, I'm going to call you out. Miriam is quite calm, and if you hear her from her phone call with Choma, she was hurt. So I think she should check herself. This is ghetto plus bitterness. She needs to check herself and know what the problem is. And then, like someone said earlier, she gave Toyin a second-hand embarrassment on TV. Toyin, you're doing too much. Leave me alone. Like, I mean, Toyin is even trying to cheer you up so that you don't, because she was saying she feels bored, she's this. Toyin was trying to cheer you up, and then you embarrassed her on TV. So this was what really hurt me on this show, and I was so angry when that's whatever Caroline did to her. I don't know if it's a slap, but I just wish next week is a very, very hot slap, because it's well deserved. Thank you.
Jimmy, if you're in the audience, I know you have your opinion, so please use the hashtag RHOLagos, who escalated the issues in the recent episode. So please use the hashtag to let me know, because I'll be reading people's thoughts.
I didn't like the lateness. I think everybody hated that. If you're going to be late, you have to let people know what was happening. Because Caroline did say something about production knowing why she was late, but they should have extended the courtesy to the rest of the ladies and let them know, hey, this is what's happening. So we're going to be a few hours late, but we're going to catch up with you. So being late without saying anything was rude. But I did like the fact that Caroline gave a sincere apology. Chioma did not look like she cared. And then Laura, okay, so personally, I do think Laura has jealousy issues when it comes to Caroline, because I think she wants the friendship Caroline has with Chioma for herself. So I think she has that issue with Caroline, that you're friends with someone I wanted to be friends with. So she always finds reasons to kind of throw digs at her. And she's also insecure when it comes to Chioma, because when Chioma walked into the room, the first thing she said was, "Oh, Chioma thinks with the way she dresses, she can intimidate me," and that was before she even said anything. So that kind of shows how insecure Laura is as a person on the inside, because before anyone said anything, she was already jumping to conclusions about how Chioma dresses in a certain way simply to make Laura feel insecure or some kind of way.
I don't like the episode of today because of Laura. Laura seems to have a like her drama is not quite interested of this episode. She reacts. She's seeking for attention, as Shoma said. She just make the drama to look boring. Like, is she acting or is she acting fake for who? So I think Laura need to understand that this reality TV show, not faking movie. And then for the next episode, Laura starts mention government. I feel it's gonna be hot because I'm interested in politics. Anyway, we can't wait to see for the next episode.
Even though Choma is like my favorite, I was really not happy about how she came in late. And then, although she tried to apologize, but at some point she was even like, she's not. Do they want her head? Stuff like that. I was like, girl, you were late for 5 hours. Like, that's a whole lot of hours to be late to an event. You might have as well just sat in your house instead of showing up. Then, when Laura spoke about Caroline's divorce, it was really bad because nobody's really above these things. It could happen to anybody. She herself, she's married to a divorcee. So what guarantees her that, I'm not praying for her marriage to crash or anything, but what guarantees her that her husband won't divorce her or something won't come up in her marriage? Like, you do not mock your fellow woman over such a thing.
So, guys, I personally think that Laura shouldn't even be on the show. I feel like there was some sort of mistake here. Either they were supposed to get the sister or something, because Laura does not be here. Laura has a problem with everyone. Laura has this attitude. Laura's not having fun. It's like someone is forcing her to be there. It's one of those things like, okay, girl, you gotta go and shoot now. So like, go. She's not giving us that housewife material that we want to see. Thing is, when you see Laura on Instagram, guys, Laura is so beautiful. She's got this smile. She's this bubbly person. But when it comes to TV, ma'am, she is so shady. Here, she is all moody. Here, she has a problem with everyone. She was complaining about them being late at the dinner table. She's like, I don't have a problem with it. I am good. And then, jiggy jiggy, next thing, she's on the WhatsApp group starting a fight. Like, do you understand how messy she is? Like, can we unpack that? Because I feel like there's a mental issue. It goes deeper than all of us here. Because I know the past 7 episodes, I've seen movies with Laura.
Caroline got touched for some reason. She probably got touched because she just saw EKG and her head was like, "Yeah, you're the reason I got divorced." Um, so she just saw that message and she went ham because there was nothing wrong with what Laura said. She was right. Call time was 1 p.m. You guys arrived at 9 p.m. We were supposed to be having lunch. Lunch turned into dinner. Like, what the hell is happening? Anyone is allowed to be angry. Laura's allowed to have an attitude because you've been hungry. You left home for lunch. You've been hungry, waiting for people. They've given you the person who doesn't drink alcohol, which also scratches your stomach. So she was miffed during dinner. After dinner at the rooftop, of course, she was dancing because she has been fed. But she got home and she stewed about it. I would have actually, not respected Miriam because, hi, Miriam, why aren't you mad at these people?
Laura is giving the energy we're expecting Caroline to give, and I think that stuff of Laura dropping messages in the group chat when they asked her if she was okay at the dinner, I think it's so unnecessary and it's not mature for her age. And I think if there should be a second episode of The Housewife, I don't think we want Lara to be on the second episode because she's always bringing unnecessary drama. We want drama, but the drama she brings is just unnecessary. She just like bringing unnecessary.
I disagree with everybody in terms of Laura needs to go. Laura and Caroline are carrying the show. Sorry. They're carrying the show right now. Everyone else is boring. And I don't think Laura should go. That's just my opinion.
I'm with you 1,000,000%. I don't think Laura should go anywhere. All right, up next, I want to ask if you think anyone, apart from, I think Laura is an extroverted instigator. Like, she does her own outside. Like, she'll say things, she'll have an attitude. But do you think that there's any low-key instigators, not overt like Laura, but if you think there's anything that has been kind of sneaky that made you think,
Yes, Toyin, that woman. Hmm. See, she's standing right behind Laura. She's the major instigator, but the thing is, she's hiding behind Laura's saltiness. She knows Laura is going to like be all hyped and everything, but she's just there standing behind her, dropping hints, telling her where to face, telling her what to say, but not putting it in words. But then Laura is so, I don't know what to call it, maybe naive, or I don't know. She's falling for it too much. And then yeah, basically Toyin.
I think it's Toyin that is the instigator, and we have to take it back to episode one when Laura wanted to come in and be fashionably late because she knew that the two other ladies that were there, really it was Caroline, and she talked about how why is Caroline here? Toyin has told me all this stuff about her, and why is she here? She was basically taking Panadol for Toyin's headache. And I was wondering, like, okay, what is your deal? If Toyin is okay with it, then why you not okay with it? And then we fast forward through to episode five with Mariam and Caroline, and we all saw that handshake. We know that it wasn't what Miriam was saying, and it's pretty clear that Toyin has also gotten into Miriam's ears. So, and then we kind of saw all that played out in episode six, where now Toyin is saying, "Well, I'm fake, I'm real. All these people are fake." And like, well, so were you fake in episode one when you were chummy with Caroline that we all know you guys fell out years ago? Like you were talking to her and Laura was fighting your battles for you. So Toyin is the instigator.
Okay, now I'm going to go on to the next topic of conversation. So I want to know what you guys think of the current alliances. If you think that they are friendships that make sense, or they're just convenient, or they are fake.
I think the friendship between Caroline and Chioma um, is very flimsy because right now it seems like they're bonding over their hatred for Linda and taking out their hatred for Linda on Laura. And I'm also very confused as how everyone keeps on saying they can't wait to see Caroline drag Laura next week when the snippet for the preview for next week's episode shows Chioma trying to tackle Laura, and then Laura just like shifting her. Now she's lying on the floor right next to the couch. When Caroline is coming, it seems like Laura is charging her. So it doesn't look like, in as much as Laura is tiny, it doesn't look like she doesn't know how to fight. She looks like a strong fighter. So I hope it's broken up before it gets serious, but I don't think Caroline would survive a fight with Laura, despite the fact that she is bigger, even physically, than Laura.
Okay, I just want to say, I actually like, I actually like Laura. I don't know. I'm always liking the villains. I'm always liking like the people every other person are beefing, every other person are hating, and I feel like this beef with all of them did not just start from like this show or Caroline being late or something. It's like what has been going on for years, that kind of thing. And if you guys remember, like episode one doing Toyin's party, and when Laura came to the party and saw Caroline, like she has always been real, like she was straight up like, oh, this is the person I'm not fucking with. This is the person like I don't roll with. I cannot be speaking to you because we're now on camera and all that. So she was always like, right from that first time, there was no, oh, this person just because we're on reality TV, let's be doing friendship. And I think that's what Caroline and Choma they are doing. I don't think like they have a real genuine friendship. I think it's only going to cast like very, very soon because there have been some like little remarks concerning Caroline's age. We can, if anybody can remember when Caroline was saying, "Oh, I'm just 1 year older than you," and Chima was like more like 15 years. You know, all those kind of small things that you just know that these people they're not cool, and very soon it will soon cast.
All right, now I want us to move on to something. I want to talk about the actual like confrontation at the end. Well, it wasn't a confrontation; it was like a text frontation, because the escalation of this argument, I'm not going to lie, it left me very confused. So I know Laura was kind of weird, being like, "Oh, you guys were late, and I would never wait for you normally. I don't want to be called bitter, but this is the height. Not happening. I would have left. Blah 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 blah." And then Caroline is like, in real, because what Laura actually said was, in real life, I would never wait for you. I would have left by 7 already. And then Caroline now goes, in real life, I wouldn't be close to you. You've been leaving horrible comments as it concerns me, and I don't care anymore. Blah 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 blah. Don't take one moment of my coming late to insult me, and I'm not going to take snide remarks from you. The next thing, she says she has an inferiority complex. Laura makes a snide remark being like, who is this? Is this Choma or Caro? Caro reiterates it's her. And then the next thing, you got a pig. I said, wow, what? Excuse me, what's going on? Excuse me, I thought we are just talking about you. Shut up there, don't talk about me. And then it just kind of devolves down there into like infidelity accusations, being kicked out of your husband's house, being pimped. Like the way the conversation devolved was so crazy to me. And obviously, like there's resentment there, like former thingy there. But I want to know if any of you guys think that somebody took it too far first.
I definitely think that Caroline is the one who's on the wrong. Um, the message was very clear. You guys were 8 hours late, technically speaking, but you were 5 hours late to the dinner. And then the message wasn't even directed to Caroline. It was obviously directed to Chioma. But because they traveled together, she had to say that I wouldn't have waited past 7 o'clock, which means I wouldn't have waited past 6 hours for Caroline and Chioma if this was in real life. No one would have ever waited for that long unless there was a paycheck at the end of it, waiting for people without eating. And that's the truth. So for then Caroline to say, well, in real life, you wouldn't have been at this table. I'm sorry, you guys aren't friends, but she is friends with Yabo. So in real life, there's a possibility she could have been at that table.
So I feel like all is fair in love and war because if not for the show as well, there is pretty much no way Caroline and Choma and the others would have waited for Laura's show to begin 6 hours before the planned time. And it's not like this is a payback or anything, but really and truly, I feel like all the things that Laura needed to say, she should have said that on the dining table. And it's fine if she wanted to communicate her thoughts on the WhatsApp group when she got herself back. But then it was totally irrelevant for her to say if it wasn't for the show, she would not be there. I find that very condescending for starters. I know that the girls fucked up and that they refused to show up at the time they were supposed to do so. But if you've actually done something previously and people are matching that energy, whether intentional or not, you should be ready to take it in good faith. So with the WhatsApp conversations actually going from 0 to 100, I didn't see it coming, but all of the bars, all of the bows, and all of the you did this and you did that that came afterwards were really, really shocking. And then it basically just shows that all of the beef that Laura has with Caroline at the moment probably even goes way beyond the show because I feel like Laura has always been waiting for things to say to Caroline. She's always been looking for an opportunity because every single time the subject of her marriage comes into question. And then let's not forget that Laura is Linda's sister and they basically come from the same family. So whatever issues that Laura had, that what's it called now, that Caroline has with Laura and Linda comes to play here.
I feel like Caroline brought a gun to a knife fight with that conversation with Laura. Like it went left so quickly. But thank you guys so much and have a fantastic Friday evening. If you're going out, if you're staying in, stay safe and goodbye.